For this lesson, we are going to learn 4 types of relative pronouns: who, where, which, and whose. When we need to join 2 things together, we use glue. But in English, when we need to join 2 sentences together, we use glue too. But we don't use this. Instead, we use relative pronouns. So for this lesson, let's call relative pronouns glue words.
How do we join 2 sentences together?
Let's look at these 2 sentences. The woman saw the man. The man was her neighbor. Is the second sentence talking about the woman or the man?
I think he's talking about the man.
That's correct. The second sentence is talking about the man. Since it's talking about the man, we need to shift the second sentence and put it immediately behind the man. Now, can you remember what we must do to join 2 sentences together?
We use the glue word, a relative pronoun.
Very good. Let's learn to join up these 2 sentences step by step. First, put the glue word, the relative pronoun, between the man and the second sentence. Next, we must cancel the repeated noun, the man. Finally, we must remove the full stop after the first sentence. There you have it. We now have only 1 sentence. Can you read this sentence?
The woman saw the man who was her neighbor. That's easy. What if the second sentence is talking about the woman and not the man? Where do we shift the second sentence to?
That's a very good question. For example, in the sentence, the woman saw the man. The woman was a scientist. Since the second sentence is talking about the woman, we need to put the second sentence immediately after the woman in the first sentence. Then we do the 3 steps again. Add the glue word, remove the repeated noun, and finally, remove the full stop.
That makes sense, but we have only used the glue word who. How about which, where, and whose? How do I know which glue word to use?
When we are referring to people, we use who. In the second sentence, the man was her neighbor. The man is a person. So we use the glue word who. When we are referring to location or places, we use the glue word where. In the second sentence, I had my lesson in that laboratory. In that laboratory shows that it's talking about location. So, we use the glue word where. When we are referring to animals, plants, or non-living things, we use the glue word which. In the second sentence, the milk had turned sour. The milk is a non-living thing, so we use the glue word which. When we want to show belonging to, we use whose. In the second sentence, her research won many prizes. Her shows belonging to, so we use the glue word whose.
Okay, I get it. The glue word we choose depends on what the second sentence is talking about. If it is talking about people or person, we must use who. If it is talking about places or location, we use where. If it is talking about animals, plants, or non-living things, we use which. And finally, if it is talking about belonging to, we use whose.
Well done!